Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to join me in showing our appreciation to Avram for discovering Valhafta and showing us how to care for people locally as well as globally. Thank you very much. And for those who don't know, he's on sabbatical, so he's here, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. He was he came to one of our workshops and was amazing, very inspiring to me. Without change, something inside us sleeps and seldom awakes, wrote the author, Frank Hebert. Good evening, friends, guests, Valhafta staff, and Valhafta Street Academy, and Renee Roth Memorial Speaker Bureau graduates. My name is John Ketty. It was just over a year ago that I was woken up by many changes in my life, changes that enabled me to enjoy life more than I have in a long time. 2 years ago, prior to being accepted to Valhafta Street Academy, I separated from my wife of 25 years and began raising my 3 children, for the most part, on my own. Then I lost my job of 3 years, left trying to figure out what I'm going to do next at the age of 48. I know 48 is kind of young for some of you, but although change does awaken us, for me, it first brought a bout of depression, which brought me a great desire to sleep and binge watch TV. Isn't it interesting that between 22 and 43 minutes, we can solve life's problems and crises without commercials? Don't we wish this was true in real life? As we all know, it takes much longer than that. It was this time last year, though, with no job in the near future, that I applied for social assistance with Ontario Works. Then a few weeks later, a friend found me a job with a construction company. Things were looking good until 2 weeks later, when my older brother, riding home from school on his bike, was killed. This caused me to reevaluate my life even more, but it also brought old reliable friends back into my life to help me with this process. As a result, I discovered that what I really needed in my life was a meaningful and sustainable career. So I started this year off, with a job, some purpose. Unfortunately, that was short-lived. The day I met with my social worker to talk about my application for Ontario Works was the day I got laid off. Fortunately, that day I did discover 2 brochures on vocational programs, providing me with a bit of optimism, one of them being the VSA program. Over the following months or so, I looked into the two vocational programs. The first one was a big disappointment. However, the second one was the VSA program, and after the first intake session, man, I thought this was it. I definitely hope I can get this. However, a couple weeks passed, didn't hear anything, so I assumed I didn't get accepted. Although, when I received a call from the VSA manager saying that they wanted me to come to the second intake session, a bit of hope arrived and was sustained with my acceptance to the program. Although the risk of signing up with this program without any financial plan of survival over the next 9-10 weeks was daunting. I was pessimistic too about the type of classmates I would have, the workshops I would experience. I was pessimistic. I feared that the 9 weeks would probably be a big waste of time with all these disappointments in my life. Well, I quickly discovered that was wrong. Very wrong. My classmates were extremely helpful, some of which are here tonight, and it was great to see them again. Because we all shared the similar stories of disappointment, obstacles in our life that prevented us from moving forward. All of us came more than willing to help each other out. It was a real community of peers. I also discovered, though, that the Valhafta staff, they put our interests first and had put together a great group of people, both in and outside of the class, to support us. All the workshops were helpful, and they even made a lasting impression. But the one that was really helpful for me was personality dimensions. It enabled me to understand my personality, strengths, and weaknesses. This gave me the focus to know what I was truly good at and how to play to those strengths. All the workshops and staff enabled me to focus on my strengths, which in turn revealed to me that I wanted to become an adult instructor. Robert Kennedy said, though, "Progress is a nice word, but change is the motivator, and change has enemies." Enemies. Yep. That's what I was thinking the year of what I was thinking the week of my graduation at VSA. My enemies. Self-doubt, procrastination, lack of income, lack of courage, depression. All my enemies were coming in upon me. Well, with the help of my peers, the Valhafta staff, family, and friends, I found the courage to defeat some of these enemies through patience and perseverance. I started to see the results in many forms. The first which was applying and being accepted as a volunteer tutor at an organization called Frontier College. I assisted in a 10-week program of basic computer skills with some adults, and now work there weekly. However, there are times, though, when I'm tired, I don't feel like going, but when I get there, I realize it's exactly where I need to be. The second major result of my patience and perseverance, which seemed to be the hardest, which was finding out how to become an adult instructor. How do you do that? Well, through numerous calls, interviews over a month and a half, I was able to determine that going back to school would be the best option for me. And even to this day, there's someone in Valhafta asking me that question. So what are you doing? Can we meet? And it's awesome. Although my life has been busy with day-to-day things, and she is still very patient in asking me that, which is very helpful. Well, this summer, I also applied for a new program at Valhafta. It's called the Renee Roth Memorial Speaker Bureau. Renee Roth was a person that was a part of this organization that was very passionate about it and wanting to speak about it. So they've made a program. I learned there in this program that the importance of being real and authentic in front of an audience. Just want to know, how am I doing? Thank you. Thank you. The Speakers Bureau also taught me that people's stories are important, part of public speaking, which reminded me that I love to hear about people's stories and what they have to offer. One of my pastors used to say to me that hearing a person's story is really the only time we can't say, "No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong about that." No, we can't say that. Their feelings can't be taken away from them. This is what makes me care immensely about people and their stories. VSA and the Speakers Bureau have provided me with numerous opportunities to hear people's stories. Valhafta has been and continues to be a vital and huge encouragement for me in finding my direction. As Jon Stewart, formerly known for The Daily Show, once stated, "Have clarity of vision, but be flexible in process." Know your intent. It's the only thing you have control of. Valhalla, through their diligence and follow-up, have enabled me to know my vision and intent more clearly, while helping me to be more flexible in the process of bringing it to life. I'm very proud to have completed 2 great programs through Valhalla. As a result, I have learned to be more careful that ambition or a crippling sense of inability does not distract me from my intent. Life is forever changing, and the best that I can do is either apply what I know, learn a new approach, or most importantly, seek out the support by asking for help and insight to move forward. Gilda Radner, a great comedic actress who died of cancer at the age of 42, said, "Life is about not knowing, having to change, take the moment and make the best of it without knowing what's going to happen next." For me, as the changes and challenges of life awaken us all, remember that in order to move forward, we need not know the path that life leads us, but rather know how to make the best of the journey on the path that life has put us on, enjoying and learning as much as we can along the way. Thank you.